Welcome back, everyone. This is Jeff. We're going to be working on this 1999 Ferrari F355. We're going to be changing an alternator out on it. We've got the alternator over here. It's from Fur Parts. So we've got this new one here from them. We're going to go be swapping this out and then sending the old one back to them and having them rebuild it so we can have a spare. But that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got, like I said, car on the lift here. I'm going to disconnect the battery right here. So doing that, and then we're going to go ahead and lift it and get access to the alternator and start changing that out. All right. We've got the car up in the air. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the under tray right here. We're going to remove that, and then we'll have access to the alternator. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to remove this section right here and proceed on. All right, just take note when you're removing this panel, just want to let you know there's a couple different pieces of hardware on this. These are all screws, Phillips head screws, right through here. All right, and through here. And then the rest of these are nuts here. So it looks like they're 8s possibly. So just to make you aware. So we're going to do that next. So we'll remove these nuts next. All right. So now you can see the panel's been removed. Now I have access to the alternator. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to take the tension of the belt. They use a steigermeter to check tension on these. So what I want to do is I'm assuming the tension is correct because this was just serviced not too long ago by Ferrari dealership. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my easy tension tool that I use on the 360 in that for checking belt tensions in that, and I'm going to strum it and see what kind of frequency I get. I'm going to compare it to maybe the 360 because this motor is pretty similar to the 360 and see what kind of tension that they're using. I would assume that it's probably pretty close, but we're going to get the tension by using the Easy Tension app. I'm not going to be able to show you that because I'm going to be using my phone for that, and that's what I use to record. So I'll let you know what I get, all right? And then once we get our tension, what you need to do here is you need to loosen the center bolt on the tensioner here first. And then loosen that up, and then you can turn this. You do not want to turn this before you loosen the center bolt because you'll break this. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, get the tension first and then go from there. And then when you're doing the tension on this, just like the 360 and that, you're going to try to strum the longest stretch, which is on top. I don't know how easy it's going to be to do it, but I'll try. All right? So I was able to get a frequency. It's tight. I checked it several times on it. I did come up with the frequency, like I said. So I was coming up with 96 hertz. Okay? So 96 hertz is what I was getting. And I was looking at the 360 manual, and it is 124 to 116. Or 116 to 124. So I'm assuming that this may have dropped due to being used. I would think that the 360 frequency is probably pretty close to the 355. This really, that frequency, by tightening the belt that much more to get that other frequency, is really not that much more. So I would probably be good with using the 360 frequency if you're adjusting the belts on a 355. Like I said, the motors are similar. So, like I said, I wouldn't hesitate to use the 360 frequency on the belts. So that's me. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Use the stegometer, whatever Ferrari suggests. But I would think that this frequency that I'm getting, 96, is pretty close. So we're going to go ahead and like I said, break the tensioner loose here at this point. And like I said, you want to take this bolt here loose first, the center bolt. Break that loose first before you take this loose. All right? So we're going to go ahead and proceed on. All right, so you're going to use a 12 millimeter wrench to break that center bolt loose on the tensioner there before you rotate the bottom bolt here. So I'm going to go ahead and break that loose. Like I said, it's 12 millimeters. All right. So you're going to use a 19 millimeter on this nut here, which is, it's righty-tighty, actually loosens the tension. So it's kind of opposite what you think. So righty-tighty will loosen the belt tension. All right. All right, on the back here of the alternator, you can tell this is a later car. It has the bonding strap here. Some of the earlier cars did not have that from the factory, so they had issues with their alternator working properly. So that was an add-on that a lot of cars got after the fact, after they left the factory. This is, like I said, a 99, so I would assume this came from the factory with that. So that has to come off, and the two connectors have to come off also, as you can see right there. And then loosen the bolts up. There's one here, one on the top, and I still got to get the belt completely off yet, but all that needs to be disconnected, and then it should come right out. So I just took a meter, used this as the ground, and touched the positive here. This is still showing 12 volts, so I have the rotary switch off in the front. This is telling me that I'm going to have to disconnect the battery before I can proceed on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The battery is located in the right front wheel well on the forward. So this wheel is going to have to come off, and I'm going to have to take this panel off in here and get access to the battery. All right? So we've disconnected the battery now, and we're not showing any volts here currently, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and proceed on to take the wiring off and all the connections here, okay? So we've got all our wires disconnected here. So we're going to go ahead and proceed on to removing this bolt here, and there's one on top. It should be up in this corner up here. So we're going to go ahead and remove those, and then hopefully that'll come out. All right, so this is a 17 millimeter nut and a 12 millimeter Allen wrench, okay, to get this one loose. So that upper mount bolt, as you can see with the blue socket there, that's a 17 millimeter. All right, that's a 17 millimeter. So what I did was I took this bolt out here first, so that gave me some more slack in this, and then I was able to slide the belt off, and then I'm probably going to do that in reverse. So now I can move the alternator around, and I can get my hand up here to get to the top bolt on the front side. So I'm going to have to get a wrench up in there, and then, like I said, I think that's a 17 on the back side, and we'll take the top bolt out, and the alternator should be free at that point. All right, looks like we got it out. Wasn't easy, but it's out. So you can see, just comparing everything. Everything looks identical here. All the connections are in the correct places. So it looks like all the brackets look like they're in the correct places. So it looks like we should be good to go. All right. The new one sitting up in there just now. Nothing's attached. So we're going to go ahead and reverse order. Go ahead and install everything. I'm going to probably start with the upper bolt first because it's the hardest to get to. And then once the bolt's installed, then I'll put my belt on and put the bottom bolt and all the other connections. So we're going to go ahead and proceed on. So we've got our upper bolt secure. We put our belt on loosely. Make sure your routing is correct, especially on your water pump on top. You can't hardly see it from here, but make sure it's in the proper grooves. That's where it would like fall off. But yeah, just make sure your grooves are all in proper place. And then we're going to go ahead and put this bottom bolt in and all our connections. All right. So we've got all our connections back on, our grounds back on, our positive terminal, our connector on the top here is back in and snapped in. Bolts are all tight, lower and top. So now we're just down to securing the belt. So we need to tension the belt back up. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use the 360 specs. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And like I said, you probably want to, like on the 360, it's the same kind of tensioner and everything. So what you want to do is just bring it underneath where you're going to shoot for, because once you tighten these bolts up, you tighten this up, it's going to actually bring up the tension even more. So get it close with this bolt here, and then when you go to secure it with the center bolt, it's probably going to overshoot it if you aim for the tension that you're looking for. So go under, and then hopefully you'll end up in your spec range, okay? Which is, let me show you here again. So the range that we're looking for is about 116 to 124 hertz, okay? And that's for the generator water pump on the 360. And like I said, I was getting 96 before I took it off, but that's probably due to it's broke in, the belt's used. So I would think, I mean, that's not much more. That's probably the spec that you're probably looking for. All right, so we're going to shoot for 116 to 124. So we've got our tension in spec. Like I said, righty-tighty, or no, lefty-loosey is actually tightens the belt here. So lefty-loosey tightens the belt on this, is reversed. And don't forget to tighten your center bolt on your pulley once you're done, because that actually locks in the pulley here, the tensioner. So we've got our tensions in spec here. So what we're going to do, we're going to lower the car now and start it up, see what happens. But before that, we've got to reconnect the battery, and then we'll start it. So we're going to reconnect the battery and then proceed on. All right, so we're showing 14 volts. Alternator's working. Okay. So as you can see, it's producing 14.2. So everything seems like it's working normal. So we've got the under tray back installed now. So that's all complete. And then we have the battery reinstalled and the inner fender here reinstalled. So really at this point, this completes this alternator change on a Ferrari F355. So yeah, see our other videos that we have coming up, and stay tuned, and please subscribe and like. Thanks a lot. Catch you later.